Howdy, y'all. I'm Tables. With 3.14 coming, I wanted to do a build guide of a build that I created that I played probably like 3 leagues ago, maybe 4. I can't remember exactly. But I played a Cold Dog Vortex and I loved it. And I played it in hardcore. Well, I'm doing softcore this season because I've never actually cleared the game before. And I wanted to give myself the best chance, but I also wanted to make my own build, so this is it. This is fully created by me with a little bit of input here and there from chat and from my brother who also plays. And I wanted to share this short little guide with anyone that's interested in watching anything about Cold Out Vortex. So we're going to be running a cultist instead of trickster. I ran trickster and I would run trickster in hardcore because I do find it to be considerably more defensive. But I feel like we got some pretty decent defenses in the Oculus area of the tree. But you see, we do come into the trickster in the deck side, and then we also kind of dilly dally over here down towards the Templar area, specifically for block. I opted not to go with glancing blows and just go for a straight up block. And these numbers for like 44% chance to block, 38% spell, that's all good and true, and that shouldn't change. It might lower a little bit when we switch to CI, if we even need to, but the 923,000 dot DPS is definitely higher than what it should be, given the fact that we have kind of a wish list of items moving in. And as you can see, this, like in our starter gear, we're not even using Bated Breath or Rhyme Gaze. So that's kind of that's essentially why the numbers are considerably higher. I'm pretty sure our CI build is around 1.3 million DPS. Our starter should be around 450 to 500k DPS, and that's with just basic gear. Typical stats: energy shield, life, spell power, cold dot multiplier. Probably one of your biggest stats. Is going to give you the biggest boost to your damage. Our ascendancy, I'm going to go Vile Bastion first, and then we're going to pick up Void Beacon, Frigid Wake, and Forbidden Power, specifically for the area of effect. Now, I'm not picking up any extra power charges on the tree because I don't really think I need them. I think my points are better invested elsewhere. But we do invest very heavily into the surrounding block nodes. Specifically, we have Arcane Guarding, which gives us block plus energy shield. We're picking up Mystic Bulwark, which gives us mana regen, which this build desperately needs because we have 63 mana cost, plus we're running a bunch of other skills that we'll go over here shortly. I'm doing energy shield and block on the jewel. We only have 2 jewels. The other is a Thread of Hope, which allows us to pick up Heart of Ice, Snow Forged, and Practical Application, which might seem kind of weird, but this build does require a fair amount of strength and dexterity. So it's just a nice, easy node. It gives us 25 to each. Instead of having to pick up 2 of these, we can just pick up 1 of these and get almost the best of both. So I think it works out perfectly. We are running Wicked Ward in our starter. I don't know how that's going to work out. I may end up taking that off and saving that for when we go the full CI build. But for now, I think we're just going to leave it on. We'll just kind of play it out as we level it when the league starts on Friday. We are also picking up Fingers of Frost, and we're coming all the way over here for Arcane Swiftness to pick up even more spell block, which is, huge for us. Or excuse me, this is a attack block. My apologies. And then we got the normal Growth and Decay. Come down here, get Deflection. We do pick up Mind Drinker, though I think Soul Thief is also a really good take. I think we end up taking Soul Thief for the CI version when we get up to that point, when we start getting our good gear. But I think for now, I think Mind Drinker is going to be like a really nice addition to the smooth leveling experience. and then we come down here and pick up resourcefulness. So it's a pretty simple tree. We just pick up a bunch of, we're like full on hybrid. We don't have a ton of life. It should be probably about 600 more, maybe 500 more than the number you see right there. But that's really only because I have my in-game setup, right? And I don't have any life on this stuff. None. I only have, oh wait, no, I do have a budget. Oh, I do have a budget setup. Okay. I lied. Yeah. 541,000 DPS, 2,300 life, 4,200 shield, full hybrid. We probably could do for some more life. We're really lacking on chaos res, which is something I haven't quite figured out yet. I'm going to try and fit it on some gear. And because I haven't gone through all these pieces and like set up all the resistances and stuff. But we are going to run the kite shield for the extra resist, prophecy wand. I may switch a few things out here and there. Really, I just want to focus on resist, life, energy shield, and cold dot multiplier. Anything that can boost my damage, anything that can make the leveling experience as smooth as possible. And so yeah, so this is the starter version, and I'm pretty happy with it. For just kind of working through this myself, I'm pretty pleased with what we came up with. 541,000, I don't think is a ton, but I think for what I want to do, I think it'll work just fine. 4438 for attack and spell block, I think could get us done quite nicely. Also, I do run elusive. I like elusive a lot. I wish I had spare to pick up notes here, but I really don't. I don't like to put in more than 90 points, just because I would like the build to be somewhat, finalized by the time I get to level 90. So by the time I get to level 90, I can just coast, and whatever points we put in are just gravy at that point. So anyways, let's move on to the CI version. This build is the first that I've ever done that has cluster jewels. And this will be my first dive into chaos inoculation. And so I've never done that. So this is going to be more of a learning experience. And I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. So for those looking to use this guide, I would say I would recommend against it. This is something that this is kind of my journey in creating content in PoE and trying to increase my knowledge and push the game further than I've ever gone before. And so I wanted to do a build guide for what I plan on doing at the start of the season. And this is most likely the build that's going to take me to the end of the game. Hopefully I can get there. But it's more or less the same as it was before. We do lose a little bit of block and spell block, but we pick up a considerably more damage. We drop Mind Drinker for Soul Thief. We pick up our Foresight and surrounding energy shield nodes. We're sticking with LE Overload and Elemental Equilibrium, and I'll show you guys how we're going to be working through that here in a second. More energy shield nodes, and then Chaos Inoculation. Obviously, we're keeping no witnesses, which I think is important. We're picking up. We're going to run with Prismatic Heart and Deep Chill, with Brush with Death and Deep Chill, and then I believe we don't have enough points to go all the way out here. We're still keeping Breath of Rhyme. We drop Practical Application. We keep Snow Forged, because by this point we're adding in the stats that we need in the Cluster Jewels, and we pretty much have everything we need at this point. We're way capped on resistances, like way capped, and we can probably focus a little bit more on damage on our gear set than having to have so much resist, because I don't really think we need that much. It's the same thing on here. This over here is just a mirrored image of this. So it's going to be a very expensive setup. We're keeping the same ascendancies for the CI build, and we have almost 8,000 energy shield. And we're really only running 2 uniques, a Rhyme Gaze and an energy and a Baited Breath. Now our crafted gear is very wish list, I would say, right? But this is more of something that I could achieve to get, and less of something that, you know, is actually obtainable. Like realistically, we're not going to get a lot of this. Now let's go through our skills. We're going to be running in our wand. We're going to be running our trigger wand, mind you. We will be running Stormbrand, Tempest Shield, and Frost Bomb. Now I realize that trigger wands just got nerfed somewhat. It's 8 seconds instead of 4, and that might be kind of a weird thing for equilibrium, but I think it's still gonna work. And if we have to, we can just figure out a way to cast Orb of Storms on our own for a little bit more reliable EE. But like I said, we're just gonna have to level it, and we're gonna have to see how it plays out. We're probably not gonna take EE until we get our trigger wand set up, which is probably what I plan on doing. Tempest Shield I think is super important, but this is our wand setup. Our shield setup is shield charge, faster attacks, and fortify. And we're actually running 2 movement setups. Cold Snap in our helmet is going to give us conk effect, so it's going to be essentially a 5-link Cold Snap, which is good because eventually we'll have a Vol Cold Snap in there, and that's getting buffed, so that should be considerably more damage for us. Our 6-link, obviously Vortex on our left click, lazy Vortex. We're running Enlighten and Malevolence. You could run Despair, I believe. Or no, maybe not Despair. Frostbite. If you want to. I'm not going to bother with Frostbite until we get it on a ring, which I'll show you in the gear. And then for our last setup, we'll have Flame Dash, Second Wind, and Arcane Surge. So that'll provide us more damage. I keep Flame Dash on my spacebar, and we right click for our shield charge. So two movement abilities, lots of cold, lots of dots, and then we have Frostbite on Opal Ring, which I think these are actually going away. I believe that you're not going to be able to get LE damage. So our damage will be reduced slightly, but it shouldn't make or break the build, to be honest. So that's a rundown of our skills. You all have seen the end game and the budget. The budget gear is nothing. It's just normal stuff, you know, resist, energy shield, life. Make sure your resistances are good. That's so huge. And then anywhere you can pick up spell damage, cold damage, and or cold dot multiplier is going to make everything a lot smoother for you guys. We will run Frost Shield in the CI version because our energy shield is going to be so hefty. I think it'll provide a considerable defensive layer. Considering the Oculus is probably less defensive than Trickster, I think it's a really good move. I didn't run it in hardcore when I worked with the Trickster, but I think, you know, like I said, the Trickster it has more layers, I think, overall. So that's it. That's my build. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm excited to start this journey into content creation with PoE. I don't know if I'm going to clear the game. I really want to clear the game. I don't even know if my starter build is going to make it to the end. But on day 1, we're going to get up. We're going to get off work. We're going to start leveling, and we're going to see where the build takes us. And if we need to tweak some stuff, we will. And for anyone watching, if you made it this far, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you guys supporting and watching. And if you have any comments about the build, if you have any tips on what you would like me to see do different on these builds, I would love to hear y'all's opinion or critiques in the comments. And that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see y'all live Friday night at some point. I do have a birthday party to go to. My boy's birthday was today. We're supposed to go out Friday, but I will be live after. Better believe it. All right. Y'all take care, all right? And have a good launch.